As the holidays approach, you may find yourself a little more stressed than usual. On today's episode, we'll look at how holiday stress can affect our sleep and ways to combat it so that this season stays shiny and bright. I'm Jay, and this is Somnilopod. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Glad you joined me. So, guess what? This was the year. This was the year that I decided 2 months ago I was going to take care of everything for the holidays so that my holidays this year would be completely and utterly stress free. I was going to be able to relax, enjoy my family, just coast right on through. I actually did get my holiday shopping done a little bit early. But then guess what? Since I don't live on an island away from all of the other humans, things got in the way. I had to start dealing with some work stress, all the regular holiday stresses of dealing with people out rushing to get this done and that done. So there really was no way that I was going to be able to completely avoid holiday stress. And I find myself, especially over the last several nights, I'm waking up in the middle of the night thinking about what I need to do. Did I get everything wrapped? Did I get enough for the kids? Did I get this? Did I get that? What about this? So I wanted to just sort of touch base with you to see what things are causing your holiday stress and how are you dealing with those? And are those things affecting your sleep? I thought it was going to be important to sort of touch base on the importance of getting sleep during this stressful holiday season. Now, there are a lot of things that can contribute to the anxiety and the stress that we feel around the holidays, and there are things that we can do to alleviate some of those things. So, one of the best things that psychologists recommend is to manage your expectations. Make a plan. Sit down, give yourself some time to sort of plan out everything you need to do. You may not get everything written down, but you'll at least have a little more of an idea of what needs to be done and how to manage your time accordingly. That will help to alleviate some of the planning stress of the holidays. But what about those other things that come into play? For example, if you're going to have to travel to be with your family, you may have to consider that you will be dealing with some jet lag, especially if you're crossing time zones. Got an episode in the archives that talks about that specifically. So give that a listen. Other people find that dealing with the stress through the holidays, they find themselves eating and drinking a little bit too much. I know the holidays are always centered around food and drink, but have to remember to ease up on that eggnog because alcohol can contribute to disrupted sleep. And if you're not getting a good night's sleep, then that's going to help increase the amount of stress and anxiety that you feel. Some of the other more common things that you can do with regard to your sleep is to try to maintain as much of a consistent bedtime routine as possible. Now, it's going to be hard to do because you're going to be getting things taken care of, going to parties and work functions and all of that stuff. Everything seems to sort of get in the way of us enjoying ourselves during the holidays. So try to try to maintain as much of a consistent routine as possible. Now, one of the big things that always at least affects me during the holiday season, and I know that it affects a lot of you as well, is the lack of sunlight that we are having to deal with. We are coming up on the shortest day of the year. It's the winter solstice. And while it's good news and bad news, the bad news is that, the amount of direct sunlight that we're exposed to is as low as it's going to be throughout the year. The good news is that the days are going to start getting longer. So the effect that lack of sunlight is having on our ability to get a good night's sleep and hence deal with our stress a little more effectively is actually going to be ending relatively soon. One thing that you can do to help mitigate some of that is to have a bright light. You can buy these on Amazon. Sometimes you can even find them at a drugstore. And they are just small lights that will sit on your desk that will give you enough bright light that it will mimic sunlight. 10,000 lux is the number that you want to look for on the package. So those things can help. You want to try to expose yourself to those early in the morning, just as if you were stepping outside and enjoying a nice bright sunrise. It's always going to be important to remember that when you find yourself being stressed and that stress is affecting your ability to get a good night's sleep, which is making your ability to deal with your stress even more difficult, ask for help. It is okay to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I am just not sleeping. Your primary care doctor and even a sleep professional can help you through some of that stuff. Typically, when we reach points in our lives where we have short-term insomnia as it's related to stress, a short-term hypnotic will help. Sleeping pill. Sometimes over-the-counter medications will help as well. We've talked a lot about melatonin and the use of certain herbal extracts to help maintain our nighttime sleep or to help us get to sleep a little more easily. It is not a bad thing to use those for a short period of time, especially if you find yourself a little bit overwhelmed. And speaking of being overwhelmed, plan some time for yourself, because I know a lot of you take all of the responsibility on yourselves for maintaining a happy, joyful holiday season for everybody. You bear the brunt of getting everything done. But if your batteries run out, then that's just going to lead to a lot more stress and aggravation for you. So take some time to recharge your batteries. Take a few minutes each day, even if it is just a matter of going into the other room, shutting the door, and doing some breathing techniques that we've talked about in the past. You could do some what the military refers to as square breathing. Inhale on a beat of 4 and exhale on a beat of 4. Do that for several minutes, and that will help. Actually, it helps to reduce your heart rate, and it can also help alleviate some of the stress that you're feeling at the time. Also, we've talked about in the past some mindfulness exercises. Things to sort of separate yourself from the stress that you're feeling. A lot of those involve the senses. So, what in your environment do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you smell? And what do you taste? Taking some time to focus on those things helps to bring yourself back to your center and helps to alleviate some of the immediate effects of the stress that you're dealing so that you can focus on those things a little more consistently. Now, with that being said, I really hope that everyone has a wonderful and restful holiday season. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago that I was going to be taking some time off, and then I felt guilty, so I did a couple of more episodes. But this time I am going to take a couple of weeks off. So next week is Christmas, and the following week is New Year's. I will see you in 2022. And in the meantime, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please email me at j@somnilopod.com. And you can also find me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So until we talk again, everyone, have a happy holiday season and make sleep a priority. Thanks so much.